Hello, and welcome to another episode of The Ramblings of an Insomniac. I am Courtney. Welcome everybody. Since I don't have intro and outro music still, again, I used to. If you listen to my original podcast, if you listen to my, my first, it's been probably like almost a year since I've had an intro and outro. But if you go to the back, if you go to my original ones, I do have an intro and outro, and it's pretty snazzy. So I know I need to get that going. I know I've got to get that working. It just requires me transferring everything to my laptop, which is going to be a gigantic pain in the butt, or I need to, not use my cell phone, and then going forward, use my laptop. Which again, if I do that, then I can't be outside. I can't be walking around. I have to be sitting still. And as you guys know, the entire reason why I talk into my cell phone, the whole reason I do this from my cell phone is because, like right now, I'm currently looking outside, listening to birds, hearing just hearing nature, looking at nature. I'm feeling nature. I'm outside getting fresh air. I can pace. I'm a big pacer. If I'm talking on the phone, I pace. I don't sit. And so I've had a lot of jobs where I don't sit. Well, I've been a receptionist a lot and you have to sit, but I've also had jobs where it's physical because I just don't do well like sitting. So doing that on my laptop will require sitting, and then I'll have to be like looking into a camera, and it's a whole thing. And I don't know if I'm ready for that. So right now I don't have an intro and outro. So if you've been listening since the beginning and you've heard it with an intro, and now you have been listening to me still even without it, you are freaking awesome. Thank you. Thank you for sticking it out with me. And then to those of you who have never heard my older podcasts and you've been listening to me in spite of the fact, I'll go with that. I'm educated from America. I graduated. Anyway, in spite of the fact that I do not have an intro and outro, if you're listening to me and you've been listening to me when you didn't even know, you're like, what? You used to have an intro and you used to have outro music? You'll be like, I had no idea. So if you're listening and you've never heard that, and even though my podcast is super unprofessional, and you're still chilling out with me, and you're still choosing to listen to what crazy nonsense I have to say, what kind of babbling crap I have to say, and then you don't even get any kind of like cool professional editing, you don't get any cool music, all you hear is my dogs barking or me snotting into the phone, And yet, here you are, toughing it out with me. Why? Because you're a badass motherfucker. That's why, because you're awesome. You should stand in front of a mirror and go, fuck yeah, I rock. Because you do. You're awesome. So thank you. Thank you very, very much. Yet again, I genuinely do not have any rhyme or reason to this podcast. I still have not been paying attention to what is going on in the world. Sure, I'll catch blips of stuff. Yes, I see how much gas is. Yes, I understand that it is very expensive right now. And yes, things are costing a lot right this moment, like beef. That has nothing to do with, farming right now is costing a lot because, farmers need to pay for gas and stuff. And then I guess it has to do with fertilizer and petroleum but also just because for some reason we don't have a lot of cows now. Apparently America is running low on cattle, but I think it's because of soil and property. We don't have land. There are it's like we paved paradise and put up a parking lot. That's not how the tune goes. But that song, Yellow Taxi or Big Yellow Taxi by Counting Crows. They paved paradise and put up a parking lot. Well, that's what's happening. There's no more soil. There's very few soil, and the soil we have has been tilled so much that they say that like to get the nutrients that we used to get out of one apple. The soil used to be so good. The soil was full of nutrients, full of good things. And we have had to till it so much that we used to be able to eat, an apple, a carrot, and it was great. It had a lot of nutrients in it. Now you have to eat like 6 apples because the soil has been tilled so much that there's no nutrients. The nutrients is way down below. I gotta get eyes on my dog. So, and then we are not giving a crap about land, and we're just building and building and building because people won't keep their legs closed, and we just keep populating the earth. And I know Elon Musk and Bill Gates think that we're in some kind of population crisis. How are we in a population crisis when we have billions of people and we are making skyscrapers and shit, and China alone and India alone? If you just count India and China, they already have so many effing people. We're not having a shortage of people. We don't need to have, I know that China's having an issue because right now they need people to work. They need people to work because when they made it where you could only have one kid, when they were like only one kid, because again, they don't have room. They have no room for houses. They have no room for people. So they made it where you can have one child. Well, the problem with that is now they don't have anybody basically to work because they kind of, they made their population so much lower that now they're like, oh crap, we don't have people of age that can work. Although since when does China give a shit about age? I mean, they use slave labor, for God's sakes. But there's plenty of people on the planet. We need soil. We need land. We don't need to keep populating, especially because all we're doing is creating stupid fucking morons. We're creating idiots. We don't need more idiots. We don't need more terrorists. We don't need more psychopaths. We don't need more intolerant, ignorant, uneducated mooches. We have way too many. We need to start stepping up as parents and as people, as teachers, as parents, as aunts, uncles, everybody. We all need to step up as neighbors, as everybody, as humans. We need to step our game up. We really need to step up our game because we are slacking. And by that, I mean, all we do is get on the internet and complain and complain and complain and hate. And we assassinate or bully or threaten or beat the crap out of anything and anyone that disagrees with us. We have no coping skills whatsoever. Ever since the internet came out, there's no coping skills. There's no family. There's no going outside and playing in a puddle. There's no board games. And sure, I'm not speaking for everybody. Sure, there are still families out there. People are like, speak for yourself. I go outside. I eat with my family, our family. Yes, there are families that do that. But we don't need to procreate, I swear, because let me tell you, unless you're going to start taking accountability for your shit children, please stop having kids and then making teachers and daycare people and the rest of society have to hang out with your shitty kid. Because I'm really, really, really getting tired of seeing videos of teachers having the crap beat out of them and teachers aren't allowed to do anything because they're kids. I'm sorry, if you're old enough to be in high school and beat the crap out of somebody, you're old enough to be smacked. You're old enough to be pushed to have someone defend themselves. Maybe teachers should start carrying mace. Maybe they should start carrying those like a taser. Maybe they should start carrying those, what are they called? They're not guns. They start with a B, and they're basically like a really hardcore beanbag almost. Something like that. A Burma launcher, something like that. Because that is exactly why kids are fuckers now, is because they have no accountability. They don't give a shit about authority. Do you see we're in Georgia now? They've got all these teens that decide they're just going to swarm streets and take over streets and then start vandalizing and breaking into things. And where's the accountability? Are these kids? I don't think these kids should go to jail. No, you know what I think? I think instead of these kids going to jail, what these kids need to do is first go to school, and then after school, the minute they get out of school, they go and they start cleaning up and they start fixing everything. If they have to take toothbrushes to scrub all the vandalism, they have to use their own two hands to fix things. And then when they get a job, they can have their wages garnished. So they probably won't get a job. They probably just won't get a job because they don't want their wages garnished. But what they can do is go into the system and they can be like, you don't qualify You do not qualify for government assistance because you have a criminal record in which you went and vandalized. That's a federal, that you're vandalizing cities. You're breaking into people's property, into people's businesses. You are breaking windows of people's businesses. So I think you now have a criminal record like that. If that's the kind of crap you're doing, then you don't qualify for government assistance because you're the one that hates the government. Remember, you hate the government. So why the fuck do you get to hate the government and then get assistance? Just like Europe. Why does NATO get to hate America, do nothing whatsoever for us? You never have our backs, ever. Ever, ever, ever in the history of ever does anyone ever fucking have our backs. We have to have your back when you start shit. Your dumb little itty teeny tiny bitty countries start crap, and then America has to come in and we have to bail your asses out, and then you guys talk shit about us. And then when your countries, I'm talking to you, England, I'm talking to you, France, I'm talking to you, Canada, I'm talking to you, Australia, your countries are going to crap and you're sitting here, Greece, you're acting like your countries are flourishing. You're acting like also you forget that America is a gigantic country. Sure, so is Canada, Australia, they're big countries. But what works for really tiny countries is not going to work for America. We have a lot more people, so socialism doesn't really work. And I don't understand why people want to constantly hate on America, but yet use us all the time. I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of there not only not being accountability, but people just hating on others, but then still wanting things and still expecting things. If you hate America so bad, then get the fuck out of here. No one wants you here. Don't act like people are begging you to stay. I can't tell you how many videos I have seen of people saying, I will buy you a ticket. I will buy you a one-way ticket to whatever country it is you feel is so much better. And let's see if you can become a citizen. Because by the way, all the other countries, every fucking country in the world, especially Canada, do you know how hard it is to become a citizen of Canada? Do you know how hard it is to become a citizen? Sure, you can get green cards. Sure, you can work in other countries. But to become a citizen of other countries, it is very difficult. And those same countries sit there and hate on America and call us a bunch of names and call us racist and bigots because we want there to be some accountability. We want our borders to be safe. We don't want every Joe Blow to come sauntering into our country. And now look what is happening to England. Look what you guys have done to your country. It is a shit. It is a shit show. I'm not saying the people. I'm not talking about the people of England. I'm not talking about the people of France. I'm not talking about the people of Canada at all. I'm talking about the way that their government is. And I'm sorry, but the government of those countries are shitty. Do you know how expensive it is to live in Canada? How often do you actually get to see a doctor? How much of your taxes? I know many, many, many people that live in Canada, and they are paying a huge, gigantic, absorbent amount in taxes because nothing is free. People like to go, free insurance. No, it is not. Who the fuck do you think pays for it? It is not free. It is free to lazy bums that do fucking nothing. Yes, to you it is free. Congratulations for being a mooch and then saying how much you hate rich people. Well, guess what? Rich people are the ones taking care of you. So if you don't have rich people, who's going to take care of you? What a stupid thing, by the way. I'm not going to be happy until all the rich people are taxed to death. They already are. They already are. They're taxed to death. They pay like for 97% of the fucking world. So shut the fuck up. Because if you're rich, I guarantee you, like the Powerball has been up to billions of dollars. And I guarantee you that if you got $1 billion, I know for a fact, those same people that are like, tax the rich, tax them. They need to tax more, take more. If you won the lottery, guess what? Guess what happens? You automatically, if you decide to take it in one lump sum, you automatically get like 40% of it. So you get like a little more than half. And then at the end of the year, you get taxed again. So you're getting taxed twice. Now, after you've already been taxed twice, now I want you to apply your rule that you make on everybody else, and that is, give me some. I deserve it because you're rich and you don't know me and I'm a stranger and you've never met me and I've never done anything for you. I deserve your money because I want it. And nowadays, that's all you have to say is, well, I want it and they have it and it's not fair. We've resorted to being children now. It's not fair. It's not fair. Shut the fuck up. Go get something for yourself then. You know what's not fair? It's not fair that people that work their ass off, people that put their own blood, sweat, and tears and get up every day no matter what the fuck is going on in their life, no matter what terrible tragedies they're suffering, no matter how little of sleep they have, they still have to, because their only other option is to not get up and let their bills go into collections and go into debt and not feed themselves and not have power. So sure, they have options. They have the option of being homeless. They have the option of having their power cut off. Yeah. But there's too many people out there that are moochies that, need our money. And I don't understand why I can't put you all on my taxes, because here's the funny thing. So I get taxed 23%. By the way, I'm in the upper low income. I'm still in the low income. I'm in low income. I'm just on the upper end of the low income. And I get 23% of my taxes taken out of my check. 23%. That's almost a quarter of my taxes. And then you know what happened? The IRS said, that wasn't enough. You still owe us $900. So not only do I get taxed where I feel like I'm being effed by a double-ended dildo. Yep, I said it. It's crass. But I need you to understand how shitty this is. Imagine taking a double-ended dildo and just cramming it up your ass. That's what mooches that pretend that they're disabled, or mooches that sit at home and just have a bunch of kids so that they can be fat and fucking live off the system and then say how much they hate America and how that the rich need to be taxed more, feed me more. That's how I fucking feel is happening to me when I don't even have enough money to pay for my own insurance. I don't get insurance. I make too much money to qualify for state insurance, but I don't make enough money to be able to pay for it out of pocket. So I just don't get insurance. So if anything happens to me, I'm fucked. Why am I fucked? Because you fat fuckers out there, because you piece of crap garbage people out there that just sit around like gluttons going, oh, I deserve. I'm not contributing shit to society and I haven't worked in forever and I pop out babies like they're fucking a Pez dispenser. I'm just a Pez dispenser, just poop baby. Do I know who the fathers are? Probably not. Do they all have a bunch of different fathers? Probably. Am I going to spend any time with my kids, or am I just going to pop them on an iPad or put them in front of a TV? Probably. Am I actually going to be a good parent? Probably not. But I still want more. Am I working? Do I have any intention on working? Probably not, but I want more. Feed me. I deserve it. I'm not contributing shit to society. I'm making dumb shit piece of crap kids, and I'm a dumb shit piece of crap myself, but all the people out there that actually take time and energy, that actually aren't pieces of crap, that actually do get up every day, no matter how horrible their lives are, that don't play victims, that can't play a victim, they don't have time to play a victim because there's too many other people being victims out there. And then they're getting absolutely raked over the coals and taxes. So now they have to work like 2 jobs so that you pieces of garbage people out there, I don't care if I'm being mean. I don't care if I offend you. Good. Because you're offending me. You are raping me. You're taking all of my money, and then I don't even get insurance. I can't afford for insurance. I can barely afford gas. I can barely fucking afford to feed myself. And that's where I was going to say with this gas. So you motherfuckers sit there and talk about how, slave labor is so bad. Oh my God, slave labor is so bad. But you have no problem whatsoever having an iPhone or anything made from China that's made from little kids in a sweatshop. Why? Because you don't want to pay $4,000 for an iPhone. You don't want to pay $4,000 for an iPhone, and I don't blame you. But we could just not have iPhones. We could all go back to not being gluttons. We can go back to not having every single thing in the world like we're prima donnas and think we need more, feed me more, I need more, faster, more. How about we just go back to playing outside? How about we just go back to, I don't know, being with our families, loving our families, hanging out with our families, pretending we love our families and want to be with them? You gave birth to them and then you sit there and you don't want to hang out with them, because some people give birth to kids just so that they can get child support. Do you know how many people will sleep with an NBA player, sleep with someone famous just so that they can sit back and reap the rewards like you did something? You spread your legs. Get over yourself. You didn't do anything. You're a con artist is what you are. You're lazy is what you are. Your ambition is to be a gold digger. Congratulations. Your ambition is to sit around and have everybody else get their taxes taken. And then you sit there and talk about how much you hate slave labor, but refuse to maybe just don't buy an expensive cell phone. You don't need to have an expensive cell phone. And then gas prices. So for right now, you have to pay more in gas, which sucks. I hate it. I absolutely hate it, nor do I want to pay $5,000 for a cell phone. But I have a cell phone currently that's like 5 years old. And it works, and it gets me by. It's just that people, again, greed and gluttony. And never happy, never satisfied, never ever satisfied. I need more, bigger, faster, more, need more. No, you don't. You can handle gas being expensive right now if it means for the greater good for our country, if it means the greater good for Iran, if it means the greater good for Israel, if it means that the regime in Iran gets put in its place and no longer gets to be tyrannical and no longer gets to constantly forever say they're going to unalive America. Do you understand that? Listen, hello, people out there that have no brain cells and that just are like, oh, Trump, oh, shut the fuck up, because guess what? Hillary and Obama were 100% for this. 100%. Obama just didn't have the kahunas to do it. He didn't have the kahunas to do it. And Biden is a dementia-ridden sissy who was probably given BJs to China, Russia, and Iran. So, of course, he's not going to do it. So Trump finally did something that no one else had the kahunas to do. And he's like, yes, this is going to make America suffer for a bit. Yep, it is. But for the greater good, it's going to be amazing if it all works out. It's like a chess game. And Iran and Israel have the potential to possibly, finally, do you know how historical it is? Do you know how majorly historical it is if Iran and Israel can finally put their weapons down? Do you know how much of a big deal that is? It's huge. It's a huge fucking thing. And yet nobody can do anything but talk about how shitty Trump is. Oh, he said he wouldn't start a war. He didn't start a war. He didn't start this war. Iran started this war. He did not start it, but he's not going to sit back and roll on his back and go, well, I said I wasn't going to start a war. Well, guess what? He still didn't. Iran started this when they said over and over again they wanted to unalive Americans, and that their entire goal is to unalive Americans. Because again, if you go through history, that is what they do. They unalive. Remember, they unalived 30,000 of their own people. No one gave a shit about that. Liberals did not care. They were like, who cares? 30,000 of their own people. The Iranian regime killed, unalived, murdered 30,000 of their own people. Why? Why did they do that? Because those people did not want the Iranian regime in place. They no longer wanted the Iranian regime in place. And they finally had the balls to go, I don't want to do this anymore. This is not who I want running our country. You don't speak for us. You do not speak for us. You don't feel how we feel. You don't get to starve us. You don't get to unalive. And then they were like, oh, and you talk about Trump being some kind of dictator. This man decided to unalive people because they had a difference of opinion. They were protesting. They weren't hurting anybody. They were protesting. And he decided to unalive them. Trump hasn't done that. A dictator would do that. Xi Jinping would do that. Kim Jong-un would do that. Putin would do that. You stupid people. Stop fucking saying that Trump is a dictator when clearly, very, very clearly, Very clearly, he's not. So stop being a raging moron. Stop acting like you know what you're talking about, because you don't. Am I pissed off on this episode? Am I raging on this episode? Yep, I am, because I've absolutely had it. I've just had it. I've had it with people being hypocritical idiots. I've just had it. I've had it with ignorant people. I've had it with, I'm just done. Educate yourself. Learn to educate yourself. Learn to educate yourself. Learn accountability. Stop having a bunch of shitty kids that everybody else has to put up with. Stop thinking that you're contributing to society, and stop asking everybody else to give you more and more and more. Get off your ass and get it yourself. Stop stuffing your face with cake and then blaming everybody else for you being a fat, obese fuck, and then going, you can't call me obese. You don't get to call me obese. Well, you are. I'm calling you obese. Someone needs to tell you that, because you're going to die. Do you want to die? Do you want to have a heart attack? Do you give a shit about yourself? And my insurance rates, by the way, it affects me with you being fat. It very much affects me because my insurance rates are high because of all the heart attacks. My insurance rates are high because of all of the diabetes and all of the fat-related health issues. And because there's so many people that are obese, insurance is up. Just like because there's so many people that drink and drive, or so many people that cause wrecks and stuff, depending on what age group you are or what gender you are, your insurance is going to be higher, because those particular group of people fuck everything else up for people. So it makes insurance higher. So it very much affects me when you're being a fat fuck, because you're also probably, a lot of people are on food stamps. And I'm paying for that. So you're getting food that I don't get to eat. I don't get to eat while you're stuffing your face saying how much you hate America and saying how much you hate rich people. Well, guess what? You wouldn't be alive right now if it weren't for rich people. So shut the fuck up, lose some weight, get a job. Stop having a ton of kids. Go play with your kids. Go contribute to society. And if you don't like America, get out of it. No one needs you here. You're not doing anyone a favor by staying. But everybody knows you're not going to leave, because you can't. Because nobody else wants you either. Because no other countries allow you to live in their country unless you go through a very, very, very lengthy process. So if you want to get out, get. No one cares. Yes, this podcast is rude. I don't care if I pissed you off. I'm sick and tired of caring about everybody else's feelings and worrying about everybody else's feelings and having to not offend anybody else and not trigger anybody else and everybody else, wanting an apology. I don't care. You're not getting an apology. I mean everything that I say. And if you're still sticking with me, again, I'm not saying this to people that work hard. I'm not saying this to people that have a true disability. I'm not saying this to people that are overweight and admit it, and admit they're overweight and know they're overweight and are trying. I'm not saying that to you. You're a beautiful human being. I'm not saying because you're overweight, you're not beautiful. And if you're staying home because you're truly disabled, I'm not talking to you. If you're not a piece of shit, I'm not talking to you. But if you're an offended, easily triggered person who can't admit that they're obese, then I'm talking to you. If you're someone that mooches off the system and says they hate America but are still here, I'm talking to you. If you're someone that has shitty kids and doesn't play with them and has them constantly on their phones and doesn't know who their dads are and is on a bunch of welfare, and I don't get that, and I'm having to pay for you, and I don't get insurance and I don't get food because of you, then I'm talking to you. Sorry. I'm sick and tired of people being like, oh, I can't hear the truth. It offends me. It hurts my feelings. What about my feelings? I'm so tired of having to worry about everybody else's feelings. But I get death threats. I get people actually telling me they don't care if my mom dies, said horrible things about my mom and horrible things about me. And have told me I can't tell you how many death threats I've had, or people threatening my life or bullying me. And this is when I'm not even yelling. This is when I'm not even saying the things I am now. This is if I say something like, I love America. This is me saying things that are not remotely rude at all, nothing triggering whatsoever, and I still get bullied. So I don't care if you have a problem. Don't listen to my podcast then. Problem solved. You have choices. Everybody has choices. I'm so, so, so grateful and so thankful for people that choose to listen to my podcast, because sometimes I'm like this. Sometimes I'm freaking out. Sometimes I'm yelling and screaming. Sometimes I'm calm. Sometimes I'm happy. Sometimes I'm crying. You never know what I'm going to get, but I can tell you I'm going to be authentic. I can tell you this is me. And sometimes you may not like me. And sometimes me may be cranky. And sometimes me may be offensive. But you're still going to get me. You're always going to get me. So if you're still hanging on and you're still listening, wow, you're a fucking rock star. You are a rock star, honestly. You're an animal. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. You're a badass. Tell them Courtney said so. I do appreciate everybody that listens. I appreciate so much that if you're not triggered by this and you're not offended, or even if you are and you're still listening, honestly, welcome to being an adult. I love it. We need more. We need more of you. Thank you so, so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Until next time.